Joe, congratulations. What does it mean to you to be involved in the All Blacks setup? And I suppose, why now? Have you had the time that you need to do what you needed to do in your personal life, sort of thing?
Yeah, it's a good question, Guy. It's obviously humbling to be involved in the environment. I've been on the periphery of it for a number of years in opposition terms, and have always been hugely impressed by the way the team operate, and that doesn't happen with a really good team behind the team. And so to be on a bit closer to that periphery is something I'm looking forward to. And I guess it's just the World Rugby job we felt would be perfect in that we'd get the chance to live in both hemispheres. We've got a couple of kids in Dublin and a couple of kids here, and breeding as we did, we didn't realise we'd be as well spread out as that. But we thought we would kind of in the modern environment we would travel pretty easily, but that hasn't been the case. And we've had our son who's got a set of real challenges, having had a brain tumour as a young man and severe epilepsy that followed it. He has become really settled here. He's really well looked after by the local community, and so staying here made a lot of sense. And being involved in the All Blacks, as I said, is something that is really exciting.
Ian, thanks for your time again. What appealed, or what do you admire about Joe in terms of his rugby mind, having known him for quite a long time now?
We don't embarrass him too much since he's on the screen, but look, he's just very analytical. But he's analytical. In my language, he's analytical in a very practical way, and he's got a big picture of the game, and I think he communicates that and breaks that down really well for his playing group. And it's been pretty easy to see the success he's had with that technique. I think what I also like is that he probably sees the game slightly different to me, and I think it's a great time to bring a fresh set of eyes into that picture. I think we're really tracking really, really well, but to have a chance to have another pair of eyes looking at us and our players and how we select, and I think it's a great way to put ourselves under the microscope and make sure that we're maximising our growth opportunity here. So they're the key things, and he's also a bloke that I know you can just have a real good, honest conversation with. And I think from an All Blacks selection view, that's pretty critical.
How valuable do you think his recent Northern Hemisphere experience might be in terms of the All Blacks selection setup?
Oh, I think really important. It's obvious that, it's very topical now. We've had a pretty successful 2021, but we've lost to two Northern Hemisphere teams, and that hurt. And by the way, we lost to two very good Northern Hemisphere teams. So we know we've got a bit of growth to do and a bit of learning to do, and I'm sure that Joe's experience in the Northern Hemisphere is going to be really useful for us. But that's not the only thing. It's more about him as a person, his ability to look at players and see strengths and weaknesses, and they're key attributes as a selector.
And just lastly from me, Joe, coming into this role with the All Blacks at this point in their World Cup cycle, where do you think they're at?
Yeah, I probably haven't had as close a look at them as I have in exactly what you were saying earlier, those Northern Hemisphere teams. So one of the jobs I'm going to do as soon as I finish with the Blues, which is a more immediate priority, is to get a really good look at the three tests against Ireland coming up in July, and also get a decent look back at them. I know some of the players from having to try to contain them in the past and succeeding and seriously not succeeding in doing that. So, I certainly know them pretty well from an external perspective. Some of them I'd hate to even say I've known since they were babies, just because I'm a Kiwi and I knew some of their dads growing up. So, it'll be nice to get alongside Fozzie and and Plum and the coaching team, and have a decent look at who and how things can be best put together.
Hey, Fozzie. Hey, is it an asset having a guy, come on board that I guess whose job it was to prepare to beat the All Blacks, and who over a period of time had some success at it?
Yeah, I do. I think it's a clear asset, and it's not only preparing to play against us. So, I mean, I think that prepares Joe really, really well from a selection side, because, like he said, we analyse our opposition players to the nth degree. So he'll have a pretty clear idea of a lot of our players anyway. But I think he's also, coached at a level recently against, all the other top teams that we have to play against as well. And I think that's a clear advantage for us coming into this group. And, we're saying goodbye to a very, very experienced selector with a vast depth of knowledge on the game, and yet we've been able to replace Foxy with again vast experience and at a slightly different level, having coached internationally for a number of years in the north. So I think it's a great addition to what we offer. And the key now is that we give Joe the space to do his Super Rugby stint, and then we figure out how we can maximise his knowledge and talents within our current group.
For you, Joe, obviously you mentioned before, in terms of lifestyle, New Zealand makes sense. As a guy that's been a head coach for so long, though, is it difficult to, I guess, maybe take that wee step back?
No, I mean, I've been working from home for 14 months, so I've taken a big step back. My wife runs the home, and so I'm used to being second fiddle, and I have no qualms about that at all. I think it's something I'm actually looking forward to be honest, Gordon, because a lot of head coaching is kind of managing up and out, and not quite so much getting the time that you really want with your feet on the ground doing the job. So I'm actually looking forward to doing a little less of that management and just putting a bit of headspace around player performance and development, and then the sorts of combinations that Fozzie and the team are looking for, so that I can best complement what they're looking to put into place.
This is for Joe. I just wonder, Joe, if you've had any messages from Ireland, and whether the decision to start after the Ireland series is a nod to your former employees and the respect you still have for them.
Yeah, probably to a degree. Yes, yeah, I've had lots of messages, and they're all great. Because the reality is, I mean, Faz is in charge of Ireland at the moment. We stole him out of the English barrel, coaching barrel, and Stuart Lancaster's coaching Leinster, who provide the bulk of the Irish squad at the moment. They're both ex-England. They coached England together. So there's a reality around the professional and the international game that it's a competition to get people into places, and so they appreciate that, and I'm sure they appreciate the fact that I'm not that keen to get started until the early August, and it'll give me a chance to sit back. And we've got my brother's place just down the road from us, so we've booked that for a number of Irish visitors during the July window. So we will have a lot of Irish visitors during that window, provided that the country is open enough for those people to get in and out again. And if some of those people come along, I'll be able to keep pretty quiet during that series.
I won't be leaving them totally alone, though, Paul.